Welcome back, everyone, for another deep dive.
Yeah.
This time, we're going straight to the source. We are taking a look at a week in U.S. product recalls and safety warnings.
Okay.
And these are straight from the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission.
The CPSC?
Yeah, the CPSC.
All right.
From December 5th to the 12th.
Cool.
So this week, it turns out a surprising number of recalls involve things that we use every single day.
Right.
So consider this a friendly reminder to check those kitchen drawers because things might be getting a little too hot to handle.
Literally. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have exact numbers for this particular week.
Okay.
Looking at the CPSC's 5-year data,
Okay.
you start to see some fascinating trends emerge.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
What kind of trends are we talking about?
Well, this week seems to be all about fire hazards.
Oh.
And,
right.
I'm struck by how many of these incidents involve things that we often overlook.
Right.
Battery chargers, small appliances, even those trusty travel mugs.
You're right.
Yeah.
I hadn't really thought about it that way. But just this week, we have recalls for Mr. Christmas wireless decorative tree light controllers.
Okay.
HTRC C240 battery chargers. Yodo mini speakers.
Wow.
Even Belkin portable wireless battery chargers for smartwatches.
Oh, my goodness.
All because of a potential fire hazard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder,
Yeah.
are we becoming a bit too complacent with the everyday things plugged in around our homes?
That's a great point.
Yeah.
It's easy to just assume things are safe.
Right.
Especially if we've used them for a while without any issues.
Yeah.
But this week's recalls are definitely a wake-up call
to
be more vigilant.
For sure.
Speaking of wake-up calls, remember that Yodo mini speaker recall?
Oh, yeah.
We mentioned this is actually a re-announcement.
What?
Yeah.
Totally.
They were initially recalled back in April 2024.
And that raises a whole other set of questions.
Yeah.
Why didn't the first fix work?
I know.
What went wrong?
Right.
It really highlights the importance of ongoing product safety monitoring, even after a recall's been issued.
Yeah.
It's not just a one-and-done situation.
It makes you wonder if there are common design flaws or manufacturing issues that keep cropping up. I mean, if one company struggles with it, are others making the same mistakes?
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
And it's something that consumers might not always think about.
Right.
We tend to focus on the immediate hazard, which is understandable, but understanding the root cause could prevent similar issues down the line.
Okay. Let's move on to another recall that might make you spill your coffee.
Okay.
Hopefully not literally.
All right.
Stanley is recalling over 2.5 million of their switchback and trigger action travel mugs due to a burn hazard.
2.5 million.
Yeah. That just shows you how widespread these issues can be.
Right.
And it's a product a lot of people use daily.
For sure.
Right? I actually own one of those mugs.
Oh, no.
Now I'm thinking twice about what's lurking in my kitchen cupboard.
Right.
Yeah.
It's those everyday items that we tend to overlook.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And this recall is a good reminder to check for updates, even on products that you think are safe.
Yeah.
I mean, who would have thought a travel mug could pose such a hazard?
You never know.
Okay, so we've covered some pretty common household items.
Right.
But this week's recalls also highlight how safety concerns can affect specialized markets.
Hey.
Like off-road vehicles.
Interesting.
Polaris issued 2 recalls this week.
Oh, wow.
Both for potential safety hazards.
It's a good reminder that no matter what you own, from a high-tech ROV to a simple toaster, checking for recalls is crucial.
Yeah.
Safety isn't limited to just mainstream products.
Definitely. And speaking of things that you might not expect, Academy Sports Plus Outdoors is recalling some of their gun safes.
Oh.
Because the internal locking plates could fail.
That's a sobering reminder that product safety failures can have very serious consequences.
Right.
It's not just about inconvenience or minor burns. Sometimes it's about life and death situations.
Absolutely. And it brings us to a crucial point.
Yeah.
When companies issue a recall, what are they actually asking people to do?
Right.
I mean, what are the most common remedies?
Well, the CPSC website
Okay.
actually provides some insights into that.
Okay.
The most common remedy by far is refunds.
Really?
Almost 45% of recalls end with consumers getting their money back.
Wow. I'm surprised by that.
Yeah.
I would have thought companies would prefer to repair or replace faulty products.
Right.
Why do you think refunds are so common?
Well, refunds may be the simplest solution logistically.
Yeah.
Especially for large-scale recalls.
Oh.
It avoids the complexities of repairs and replacements. Plus, let's face it, recalls can be costly for companies.
That's true.
Yeah.
But it's good to know that refunds aren't the only option.
Right.
Some recalls involve repairs, replacements, disposal instructions, even new safety instructions.
Right. Yeah. And that highlights another key takeaway.
Yeah.
Taking action regardless of the remedy is crucial.
Right.
Don't just toss that recall notice aside.
Definitely. Ignorance is not bliss when it comes to product safety.
For sure.
So check the CPSC website, sign up for their email alerts, do whatever you need to do to stay informed and protect yourself.
And remember, the CPSC website has a wealth of information.
Oh, yeah.
Beyond just the weekly recalls.
Okay.
You can dive into the 5-year data, explore common hazards, and really get a sense of the bigger picture of product safety.
You know, you're right. It's like having a safety detective's toolkit at your fingertips.
Exactly.
Now, before we move on to the specific recalls from this week, are there any overarching trends we should keep in mind as we go through these?
Yeah.
Anything that stands out to you?
Well, aside from the fire hazards we've already discussed, there's a significant number of recalls and warnings related to products sold online.
Okay.
Particularly through marketplaces like Amazon and Walmart.
Ah, that's an interesting observation.
Yeah.
So it's not just about being cautious with what we buy. It's also about where we buy it from. That adds another layer of complexity to this whole safety issue, doesn't it?
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
And it raises questions about the role of these online platforms in ensuring product safety.
Yeah.
Are they doing enough?
Yeah.
How can consumers protect themselves when buying online? These are all things we'll be exploring further as we delve into the specific recalls and warnings.
Okay, so let's dive into the details then.
Right.
Starting with the most recent recalls from December 12th.
Okay.
We have the Touch of Class wall tester bed crowns, which are being recalled due to a rather alarming fall hazard.
Oh!
Imagine that you're sound asleep and suddenly a metal bed crown crashes down on you.
Oh, my goodness.
Not exactly a peaceful night's sleep.
No, not at all.
It's definitely a reminder to check the stability of any wall-mounted items.
Yeah.
Especially heavier ones.
For sure.
And this isn't just about following the manufacturer's instructions during installation.
Right.
It's also about regularly inspecting those items for any signs of wear and tear.
Okay.
Right? It's easy to install something and then forget about it.
Yeah.
But things could loosen over time. Okay, moving on, we have a recall that hits close to home for me.
Okay.
As someone who loves a good pair of cozy socks.
Right.
The CPSC is urging consumers to stop using Wooliotic and Akpair heated socks.
Oh.
Sold on Amazon.com.
Oh.
Apparently, these socks can overheat, posing a risk of burns and even fire hazards.
You know, it's a great example of how even seemingly harmless products can have hidden dangers. We tend to associate socks with comfort and warmth, not fire hazards.
Right.
But it's a reminder that any product that generates heat needs to be used cautiously and according to the manufacturer's instructions.
You're right. And this also ties back to our earlier point about online marketplaces. It seems like a lot of these warnings involve products sold on Amazon.
Yeah.
Does this point to a bigger issue with online platforms and product safety?
That's a question we'll definitely want to explore further.
Okay.
But for now, let's continue with our recall roundup.
Okay.
The CPSC is also warning about Chad and Jake children's robes.
Oh.
These robes violate federal flammability regulations for children's sleepwear.
Wow.
And could easily catch fire.
That's scary.
It's a reminder that when it comes to children's products,
yeah,
especially sleepwear,
right,
we need to be extra cautious and look for those flame-resistant labels.
Absolutely. And it's not just sleepwear.
Right.
We're also seeing a warning for Xanction Arts pounding ball table toys due to a choking hazard from small parts that can break off.
It's so easy to overlook small parts.
Yeah.
Especially when you have young children who love to put everything in their mouths.
Yes.
But these warnings highlight just how crucial it is to be vigilant about those seemingly insignificant details.
You're right. And these are just a few examples from this week's CPSC announcements.
Yeah.
We'll be covering more in the next part of our deep dive.
Okay.
Including some intriguing safety warnings that raise even more questions.
All right.
About the complexities of product safety in today's marketplace.
Cool.
Stay tuned, folks. We'll be back with more insights and takeaways that will hopefully help you navigate.
Yeah.
this often confusing world of product recalls and safety warnings.
That's good.
Welcome back to our deep dive into product recalls and safety warnings.
Yeah.
We've already uncovered some pretty alarming trends with fire hazards and recalls on everyday items. But as we continue through this week's CPSC announcements, a new concern starts to emerge.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
We're seeing a number of warnings, not just recalls, for products that violate safety regulations.
Okay.
And what's particularly interesting is that many of these involve items sold online.
Okay.
Especially through marketplaces like Amazon and Walmart.
Okay. This definitely ties back to your earlier point about the challenges of regulating online sales.
Yeah.
So what kind of products are we talking about here?
Well, for instance, the CPSC is urging consumers to immediately stop using NLFGUW electric gel ball blaster toy guns sold on Amazon.
Okay.
These toys violate federal safety regulations for projectile.
Oh, wow.
And could cause serious eye injuries.
That's disturbing.
Yeah.
Especially considering they're marketed as toys.
Right.
It really makes you question how thoroughly these products are vetted before they end up online.
It's a valid concern, and it's not just toys. We also have a warning for Tiergrade digital combination smoke and carbon monoxide detectors sold on Walmart.com.
Okay.
These detectors can fail to alert consumers to the presence of, well, deadly carbon monoxide and smoke.
Wow, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
You'd think a product designed to protect lives would undergo rigorous testing and meet the highest safety standards.
Yeah.
But this warning suggests that's not always the case.
It certainly raises questions about the effectiveness of current safety protocols, particularly for products sold online.
So we're seeing toys and safety devices being flagged.
Yeah.
What other types of products are popping up in these warnings?
Well, we've got iFanze area rugs sold on Walmart.com being warned for fire hazards.
Rugs, really?
Because they don't meet federal flammability standards.
It's incredible how many everyday items we take for granted can actually pose serious risks.
It's all about those hidden dangers.
Right.
And speaking of hidden dangers, AILUKI cordless drills sold on Amazon.com are facing a warning due to fire and burn hazards.
Yes.
These drills have been reported to explode, ignite, melt smoke. The whole works.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that even seemingly durable tools can have serious flaws.
You know, as we're talking about these warnings, I can't help but notice that a lot of them simply urge consumers to stop using the product immediately.
Right.
There aren't always specific recall details.
Yeah.
Why is that?
It's a great observation.
Yeah.
It could be a matter of urgency.
Okay.
If the hazard is severe enough, the CPSC might need to get the word out as quickly as possible, even before a formal recall can be initiated. Or it could be a challenge in tracking down the sellers, especially in the vast online marketplace.
Yeah.
Pinpointing the source of a hazardous product isn't always straightforward.
So it sounds like speed and complexity play a role, but ultimately this puts a lot of responsibility on the consumer, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
We can't just rely on agencies to catch everything.
Right.
We need to be proactive, do our own research, and report any unsafe products we encounter.
That's where resources like saferproducts.gov become incredibly valuable.
Right.
It empowers individuals to contribute to a safer marketplace by reporting potentially hazardous products.
Okay, so let's shift gears a bit and talk about another product category that saw a couple of recalls this week. Magnetic toys.
Interesting.
Specifically magnetic chess games.
Oh.
Sold exclusively on Amazon.com by Onkley. Are facing a warning because they don't meet federal safety regulations for magnet toys. And we also have a warning for kindly toys, busy board toys, due to small parts that can break off, posing a choking hazard.
These warnings are particularly important for parents and caregivers.
Right.
Magnets can be incredibly dangerous if swallowed, especially for young children who might mistake them for candy.
Right.
And small parts are a constant concern with toys.
Yeah.
Even those designed with safety in mind.
Yeah.
It highlights the importance of choosing age-appropriate toys.
Right.
And being extra vigilant about potential hazards.
And it's not just about choosing the right toys.
Right.
It's also about how we use them. Even a seemingly safe toy can become dangerous if it's broken or used improperly.
Right.
Regularly inspecting toys for wear and tear and teaching children how to play safely are crucial steps in preventing accidents.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about creating a culture of safety awareness,
Yeah.
both for ourselves and for our children.
Yeah.
And that awareness needs to extend beyond just toys. We need to be mindful of the potential hazards in all the products we use, from the appliances in our kitchens to the tools in our garages.
You know, it's fascinating how this deep dive has uncovered so many different facets of product safety. We started by talking about fire hazards and common household items, then moved into the complexities of online marketplaces.
Right.
And now we're discussing the importance of parental responsibility and teaching children about safety.
It's a reminder that product safety isn't just a one-dimensional issue.
Right.
It touches every aspect of our lives.
That's a great observation.
Yeah.
And it underscores a key takeaway.
Right.
Product safety is a shared responsibility.
I completely agree.
It's not just up to manufacturers or regulators. It's about all of us being informed, vigilant, and proactive.
Exactly.
Okay, before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, let's touch on one last warning that involves electric scooters.
All right.
Specifically, Swagtron SG5, Swagger 5 Boost commuter electric scooters
Oh, wow.
are facing a warning due to fire and burn hazards.
This warning highlights the emerging safety concerns associated with electric scooters, particularly as their popularity increases. And it serves as a reminder that any product with a lithium-ion battery, whether it's a scooter, a phone, or a power bank, needs to be handled carefully to prevent overheating and potential fires.
So it sounds like we need to be extra cautious with those sleek and convenient gadgets that are becoming more and more common in our daily lives.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Convenience shouldn't come at the cost of safety.
Right.
And that's where informed consumers come in by staying up to date on product recalls and warnings.
Right.
And by understanding the potential hazards associated with different types of products, we can make safer choices for ourselves and our families.
Well, that's a powerful message to carry with us.
Yeah.
As we move into the final part of our deep dive, we'll be exploring some broader questions about consumer culture, corporate responsibility, and what all this means for the future of product safety.
All right.
So stay tuned, folks, because there's still much more to uncover.
Sounds good. As we've gone through this week's recalls and warnings, it's striking how many different categories are represented.
You're absolutely right. From Christmas lights to bed crowns to electric scooters, it seems like almost everything we use in our daily lives has the potential to pose a risk.
And what's fascinating here is that it's not just about the products themselves. It's about the systems and processes behind them. We're in an era of increasingly complex supply chains, rapid innovation, and globalized production, which can make it challenging to maintain consistent safety standards.
That makes sense. It's like a giant, intricate web, and if one thread comes loose, you can have ripple effects throughout the whole system.
Exactly. So it underscores the need for robust testing, meticulous quality control measures, and ongoing monitoring throughout a product's entire life cycle. Companies need to be proactive in identifying and addressing potential hazards before they reach consumers.
It seems like a huge undertaking. How can companies even keep up with all the potential risks involved in modern manufacturing? Well, it's not easy, that's for sure. But it really comes down to prioritizing safety at every stage. From design and development to production and distribution. And it's about fostering a culture of transparency and accountability where issues are addressed swiftly and effectively.
Okay, so companies have a big role to play.
Yeah.
But what about us as consumers? What can we do to navigate this complex world of product safety and make informed choices?
First and foremost, be proactive. Don't wait for a recall to happen before taking action. Check the CPSC website regularly for updates. Sign up for their email alerts and research products before you buy them.
I think a lot of people might assume that if a product is on the market, it must be safe. But that's not always the case, is it?
No, not at all. It's important to remember that regulations and testing can only go so far. There's always the potential for unforeseen issues to arise, and that's why consumer vigilance is so crucial.
So it's not just about being a savvy shopper, it's about being a safety-conscious citizen. Exactly, and that means being informed, asking questions, and reporting any concerns you have about a product's safety. You have a right to safe products.
Right.
And your feedback can help protect others from potential harm.
This has been such an insightful deep dive. We've covered a lot of ground, from specific recalls and warnings to broader questions about consumer culture and corporate responsibility, but I think the biggest takeaway for me is the realization that product safety is a shared responsibility.
I completely agree. It's not just about pointing fingers or placing blame. It's about all of us, manufacturers, retailers, consumers, regulators, working together to create a safer marketplace.
And that brings us to our final thought-provoking question for our listeners today. Considering the sheer volume and variety of products recalled and flagged for safety concerns, what does this tell us about our consumer culture and the shared responsibility of companies and individuals in ensuring safety?
That's a great question to ponder. Perhaps it highlights the need for a more conscious approach to consumption, one where we prioritize quality and safety over quantity and convenience, and perhaps it calls for greater transparency and accountability from companies, along with a more engaged and informed consumer base.
It's definitely a complex issue with no easy answers, but hopefully this deep dive has equipped our listeners with the knowledge and tools they need to make safer choices and advocate for greater product safety in the marketplace.
Remember, knowledge empowers action. Stay curious, stay informed, and most importantly, stay safe.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive, and we'll see you next time.